Good morning, adventurers. My name is Ben, and welcome to a morning show where I sit around, drink some tea, and talk about D&D. So, first up, before we even get into T&D today, there is one thing that we need to go ahead and kind of sort out here and establish. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to say it for TikTok as well, as you can see here, because I think it's kind of an important thing to put out into the universe. So, give me a second here while I get this set up. As we go ahead and we just go ahead and do this right quick here. 3, 2, 1. Hi, TikTok. Hi, YouTube. TikTok and YouTube say hi to each other. It's great that you guys are getting to meet here. I have a decent-sized platform on both of you. TikTok is obviously larger than YouTube, but it feels like this is an important piece for me to actually sit down and say something about. As I am the only person that runs either of these accounts, what I think matters in these, and I need to be very clear with this, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this for both of you simultaneously here. First things first, well, first and foremost and only, really, reproductive rights are human rights. People with uteruses should be able to make decisions for themselves with their own bodies, without the interference of anybody else. That is the end of that statement. Period. That's it. If you don't like it, you can leave. Sorry, not sorry. I hope you eventually make some sense of yourself. That's it. So, with the recent decision being handed down, felt like I really want to go ahead and make my stance on that, this platform stance on that very clear. These are important rights for people. We are going to be fighting in every way that we can for a very long time to try and remedy this in any way possible. So, I hope you stick around, but quite frankly, if you don't, this wasn't for you to begin with. And that's the end of it. So, now that we have that out of the way, now that we have that established, not out of the way, now that that has been established, period, let's go ahead and let's get into the actual show. So, first up, second up, I guess, technically, for today, we have T&D, which inside of this, we have, first off, my Stone Creek coffee mug. It is very blue and pink. The city that I live in had Pride just this last week. We went. It was fantastic. It was a great time. So I'm feeling a little extra representative of these colors now. So... It's also just a fun mug. I like it a lot. Inside of it, we have some lemon zinger from Celestial Seasonings, which I left in the other room. It looks like this one, the Wild Berry Zinger, except it's yellow with lemons on it. And that's it. That's really all it is. It's very nice. It's a good, like, almost darker lemon, as opposed to, like, the really bright lemon that you get sometimes with lemon tea. So, for a later night kind of thing, it's actually very nice because it's kind of like a calm down kind of deal. But yeah, good stuff in there. Moving on from that to what we're actually talking about today. This one I am very excited about because I'm interested to see sort of what people think about this one. Because today we are talking about notebooks, and D&D notebooks in particular. We're going to go through just kind of the full rundown here. I'm actually going to, I think, try and restructure this so that we are hitting them more or less in order of specificity more than anything else, and that's what we're gonna try. So starting with the least specific, we have just some very, very common, pretty generic little. I like little notebooks a lot for this kind of thing, but we have just some. Composite notebooks. Like any composite notebook that you've got is a great little character notebook. You can dedicate pages in it. This is actually one for a character that I'm playing right now, Belvin Elderberry. I love him very much. So in this one, the way that I have it broken out here, I've got them broken down by session. I have NPC pages, I have place pages, I have NPCs associated with those places and stuff like that. But as you can see here, if you're watching or if you are listening, you can just take my word for it. I have my session notes broken out and I will go back through and I will go ahead and check through them and like re-highlight things that I think are relevant that we have maybe forgotten about at a certain point, because those become a problem as we go. So little notebooks like this, just again, cheap composite notebooks, very, very good for D&D. They again are very cheap. They are easy to find. You can get them pretty much anywhere. They last you pretty much as many pages as there are in there. You can use them for, and they are entirely customizable because they're just notebooks. That's really all they are. And a lot of these are just notebooks. So sorry about that. But at the end we have some more specific ones. But I love little guys like this. Obviously, I'm using one for a character I'm playing right now. It's a great, great little resource for me to have because I love Bell with every fiber of my being. And I hope the DM doesn't kill him, but you know what? If he does, I'm sure it'll be fantastic. Moving on from that, we're going to go one... Well, no, we'll stick in general notebook territory for now. We've got... this specifically is a Moleskine notebook. It's about the same as the other one. It's just a little bit more expensive. It's a hardcover. This one in particular is a hardcover. Again, very little. It's actually a Lord of the Rings one. I love it. I got it, I think, from Barnes & Noble or something like that. But it's so cute. I like it a lot. I'm not actively using this. I was actually using this for something else entirely. But the same setup principle applies to this one as it does to that. In that it is just sort of it's a notebook. It's a lined notebook. You can fill it with whatever you want, and it's a lot of fun. I obviously, as you saw with the Bell one, like having some kind of design on my cover. So I really like that this Lord of the Rings one had a design on it. If it didn't, I would have put something on there. I have one kind of sad swirl on the Bell notebook, and I honestly kind of need to add some more because it is sad the way that it is right now. Switching past that one, still in general notebook territory, we have more just notebooks. These are a little bit more, these are obviously bigger. They are a little bit beefier. This one does have, oh hey, this was, this from a while ago, like way back when I first started doing this, was my ideas notebook before I switched over to something else. My ideas notebook for YouTube specifically. So this is fun. Or my TikTok ideas notebook, I think. More to the point. Yeah, it's got the Barn Owl Creative at the front. I made tables, and this, I like having a slightly bigger notebook for like when I'm DMing things, because I like to be able to make tables like that, even though this is a video notebook. Make tables, make all kinds of charts and stuff that don't need to bleed over a bunch of pages, like these little bitty guys, which again, I use for character notes for the most part, because I'm usually writing super shorthand really fast with those. These I like to use for when I am DMing and can build out a little bit more of sort of like what I'm going to be working with. And then this one is almost identical, except it is leather, and it's just, this one is actually blank. I use this one for a couple of different notes here and there, but this one was never destined to be a D&D notebook, just because I was using a different one at the time when I got it, and so I used it for something else. I love notebooks. I love notebooks a lot. But like I said, these are great for DMing. I actually really like both of these because they do have bookmarks that go with them that are like built into the notebook. The Moleskine one does have that too. If you are watching, you can see that I have a pencil stuck in the Belbin notebook because I want to know what page I'm on. But having the built-in is really, really great, and having something to like hold them closed, also fantastic. And the bigger space lets me use them for DMing, because it is just a little bit easier to lay stuff out when you're DMing on a slightly bigger page. Which does bring me to another option that I haven't really had the chance to explore all that much, but I really do like it. These little binders I found at Walmart, I think. They're small binders, small 1-inch binders. They're about half the size of a normal binder. They sell little paper to go in it. They sell little dividers that go in it. You can lay it out however you want. I use this as some DM planning for when I'm like up and moving and when I'm going places, because I can't bring my full-blown DM binder that I have, because let's be honest, I can't fit everything into this little guy. When I'm DMing a campaign, I have too many notes for that. And also the printers don't print off little bitty like 2/3 size pages. Not the point. But I really love this because of how customizable it is, because I can I've got like these sleeves that I can put stuff in and dry erase off of them. I've got notes that I can plan things in. Pages are big enough for me to be able to make out charts. I can rip pages out, put them back in, because it's a 3-wing binder, so I can just pop stuff in and out. The tab dividers make it so I can actually organize stuff very easily. These little binders were great. I want to say that this whole thing, so a 5 set of tabs, the binder, and a pack of paper and a pack of the sleeves that you can use as kind of an overlay, were like $10 total, which is really not bad, especially when you consider that this little Lord of the Rings notebook was probably about $10 as well, and these little leather-ish notebooks were probably 15 to 20. And so $10 for a binder that you can customize to what you need is actually really pretty good. That said, the paper that goes in it, obviously a lot harder to find. All the stuff for stuff this size, very much harder to find. You gotta keep that in mind when you're going through and deciding that this is what you want to do. But I do like it for the customizability of it. I think that it's a really, really cool way to do it, a decent little tool. Which brings me now to the specific notebooks, the ones that I'm actually really excited to get to show you guys. As I mentioned, I am a notebook person, and I have 2 different kinds of notebooks here, really, that I am stoked to get to show you. One of them I found off of Kickstarter, and it's really, really cool. The other one is something that everybody, I think, is hopefully going to think is really cool anyway. But this is the Rover book. It is a D&D specific notebook. This is the player one, and this is the DM one. The DM one, the pages, same size. However, the binding is obviously a lot bigger because it's like 5 times as thick. So we're going to take a look at what's inside of the player one here first. I backed this on Kickstarter. I got a bunch of them. I thought they were super, super cool. I love them dearly. You, first off, campaign name, party members, players of them, class they have. You can put your character sheet into the notebook. It's a little bit more simplified, but honestly, the way that it is laid out is not bad at all. It breaks down your skills associated with each ability ability score. So like you have your strength, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, charisma, constitution, all the way down. All the skills are in there. You've got a counter in here that is just a general counter for spell slots, key points, Battlemaster maneuvers, whatever you need to keep track of, which is really great. It's got sections for your proficiencies, class traits, money, specifically cash money, ka-ching. You can spellcast in there, some freeform sort of character notes, background trait. Like, it breaks down the character sheet into a section in the book that is actually super easy to use and super easy to get to. And then it's got a section for you to draw up your own world map. It's got NPC like this is where it starts to get into the specified stuff that I have written out in my other notebooks. I love the way that they break this down. Session notes with session names, page numbers, all that kind of different stuff. And this is what makes up the bulk of the book here. We're flipping almost all the way to the back. We're still going. There is right over at the back. Come on. Oh no, the back has a couple of totally blank pages for you in case you need that. And then that is the end of this book. It is a very simple notebook, but the fact that it has a full slate of character sheet at the beginning means that you don't have to lug around your character sheet. If you're playing pen and paper as opposed to like online, digital, all that stuff, you can transcribe your character sheet into this book and it is there for you ready to go, which is a really, really fantastic tool. Looking at the DM one, it has a lot of the same features in that it is built for the game that you're playing more than anything else. Here you go, Rover Book GM. This one, let's see. This book, the player Rover book, is like $10, I think, per book. It's a nice little spiral bound notebook. I want to say the GM one was 20 or 25, something like that. But still very reasonable considering the following things are included in it. Again, this is like 5 times as big as the other book. It comes with the table of contents first off, because you need that. And in the table of contents, it lays out what you get from this book. From this book, you get section 1 is the campaign planner. There are pages for you to transcribe player character sheets, a generalized story outline, session list, so you can like title all of your sessions so you can kind of remember what's going on. Note section for your campaign setting, world map, and location details section. Then, for 350 pages, there are session note planning pages. And then, from there, because again, we're still going here, you have NPC sheets followed by freeform note pages. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of these things. The session notes, we'll get out of the way first. It's the exact same pretty much as the player one. That's what I'm looking for. Players. Those are the other people at that table. And that is just sort of, it's just session notes. It's what you need to be able to transcribe all of your sessions so that you can go ahead and just get it all taken care of. Inside of there as well, however, you have things like this, which are initiative trackers, NPC sections for the different sessions that you might be in, monsters present for that session, which is a super, super helpful tool because you can just sort of consolidate your list of things that you need to do. Again, if you don't like type up planning notes, this is so helpful. This is such a good tool to have. I'm going the wrong direction. I need to go towards the beginning here. In here, you've got, let's see, location options here. You've got location name, location map. Well, not location map. Map location of this place. There we go. And a bunch of generalized notes about that location in particular so that you can go ahead and on the world map section of this, go ahead and just pinpoint where each of these things are. Campaign setting, because this is for a single campaign technically, it's got notes in here for things like tone of the campaign, environment of the campaign, magical presence, governing bodies, races, economy, and then you start getting into the notes section for the general like background of the campaign. Again, really fantastic tool. Super, super great. This thing is about 500 pages long. This thing is about 100 pages long, so it is about 5 times the size of the general one. Which brings me to my last notebook here, the one that I am most excited about, the one that I would never have bought for myself, and I adore my fiance for buying it for me because she was just listening one day and realized that I really liked this, but it wasn't going to be something I bought myself. Most people who are into D&D relatively deep know about the Rook and the Raven. They make really awesome notebooks for tabletop gaming, and they make system specific because they have more than just D&D, but obviously I have a D&D one here, more than just D&D notebooks, and they go from as basic as nice but still cardboard covers and just pages that go in. They are all disc bound, which is an awesome little thing that I didn't know about, all the way up to this kind of insanity. This is a laser etched wood cover. Here's the backside. Ooh, fancy, right? So this is a plywood cover that has been etched down to a layer of the ply that is actually dyed blue. So this is not like paint or anything that'll chip off. This is the wood has been dyed blue in there, along with the finish on the front. These are all metal rings, whereas the base one has plastic rings, which are really fantastic. They have notebooks. Everything is notebooks. They have bookmarks that go in there, and they sell customizable. Well, not customizable. They sell different paper packs so that you can customize the notebook to your needs. Those paper packs are all over the place. They are everything from player character stuff, kind of like the character sheet thing that we saw in the other one, to GM session prep notes, GM world building notes, blank pages for maps, grid pages for drawing battle maps, world building things like town districts, factions, NPC lists, major and minor, power structure layouts, full timeline options, deity pantheon. There we go. I was trying to figure out what the thing with the deities is. Pantheon pages, so you can lay out who the pantheon is. Player info sections for like about the players themselves, which are really great for session zeros, and you should use them for your session 0. Even if you don't have a fancy notebook like this. I am stoked to get to use this notebook. The thought that they have put into these pages is honestly second to none. This minor NPCs page that I'm holding up here has name, location, appearance / description, knowledge notes, and session number that you can go ahead and put in. And if we flip over to the session pages, you can see here that you get date, location, and session number. So you can actually number your sessions. You can do that in the other ones too, but there's a dedicated box for it on here for you to be able to do that. They also have this really cool like quad rule, essentially, where there's 4 little sections. I have that scattered amongst the prep notes section for me, so that I'm going to be using this for an upcoming campaign where I have either 3 or 4 characters. I'm not entirely sure which one yet. Waiting on that last one to come through or not. I'm going to be using this for them, and I'm going to use those quad pages to lay out their specific character goals at each like prep section that I do, so that I can keep up with them specifically. It's something that I do for my current games anyway, but it's going to be extra fun to do it on this here fancy notebook. And I'm also going to be transferring a ton of my world building stuff into this notebook, because I mean, look at this town / district page here that is really, really fantastic. It's got name, location, governments, rules and restrictions, landmarks and shops, and notes about it, as well as a sidebar for it, which is really awesome. There's not really margin sections on a lot of these notebooks, just because they are lined notebooks, so they have the margins that are built in already, and it's not a huge deal. Now, this thing is disc bound, which I really love. The only other notebook that I have here that actually allows me to rearrange pages is that binder that I have. Disc-bound notebooks let you do the same thing, which is really cool. All you have to do is grab the page, pull, and it comes out. It is perforated in this really fun special way, where it's got all of these little like half circles and lines and whatever that grip onto the disc, and you can just go ahead and pull pages out and stick them straight back down and in. Super quick. Doesn't take more than a couple seconds to do, and it lets you reorganize in any way that you need to. So this thing is really awesome. I have rambled on a lot about these notebooks. So anyway, all of that said, these are all the different notebooks, the ways that I take notes when I'm playing D&D, at really essentially all of the different price points that you could have. We've got these here, these super, super fancy ones that are really, really cool, as well as some cheaper options in the same general sphere, as well as then having littler guys like these that are fantastic to get to use. And again, these little ones are what I like to use when I'm a player. These big ones are what I like to use when I'm a DM. So get yourself a notebook. Let me know the way that you like to take notes, because honestly, I might have a little bit of a problem here if you can't tell. Whoops. That's okay. So that is what we are talking about with that today. That's everything I have for you on that front. So getting into the different streams that we have this week here, specifically the next few days, couple days. Starting today, Monday, we have the Paper Dungeon, we have Chromatic Dice, Beyond the Realms, Unprepared Casters, Greetings Adventurers, Bards of New York, Hapless Heroes, Ion Adventures, Cast Party, Three Black Halflings, Hello from the Magic Tavern, King Leo D&D, Anti-Heroes Anonymous, The Tabletop Tavern, and Top of the Round. Then tomorrow, Tuesday, we have Diary of a Dragon Pit, Star Wars First Resistance, Dungeons and Daddies, Bombarded, Hecva D&D, Glass Cannon, and The Queer Questers. Please check them out. Let them know that I sent you, because, again, someday somebody's going to say something and I'm going to think that it's hysterical. But that is really everything I have to talk to you guys on that. So, Thank you so very much for making me part of your morning routine. I really do appreciate it. And thank you so much in particular to my patrons. You guys are the ones that make this show possible. If you're interested in becoming a patron, go ahead and check out the description in this episode. Check out the link in the episode description of this episode. There we go. But like I said, that is everything I have to talk to you guys about. So don't forget, everybody. Drink tea, play D&D, keep on rolling, and love each other.